Jamel Herring will be ready to prepare, will be ready to defend his WBO 130-pound title this weekend in Dubai versus Carl Frampton, former champion at 122 pounds and 126. Okay, so this fight is supposed to have been happened, you know what I mean? Been numerous delays in this fight. I don't know if any of them caught COVID. I can't quite remember what the reasons were for the delay, but we having this fight on April 3rd, okay? Now, Jamel Herring is the defending champion, and he just arrived in the Dubai this week, fight week, okay? While the man Carl Frampton arrived in Dubai on March 16th, about 2.5 weeks ago, to prepare for this fight against the man Jamel Herring. And Carl Frampton actually thinks it's a big mistake for the man Jamel Herring to be arriving this late to Dubai, a place where place that's not known for having big fights, world title fights and whatnot. But here we are with a big, massive fight between Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring in Dubai. A playground of the rich. And we'll see if they can make an impact and hopefully have more boxing over there in the Middle East. You know what I mean? So Jamel Herring didn't fly out until this Friday. Actually, he didn't arrive fight week because fight week is this week. So he arrived on Friday. You know what I mean? Basically, the weekend before fight week. Carl Frampton actually has some. He thinks it's a bad idea because the man Jamel Herring has to acclimate to about a 10-hour difference. You know what I mean? I read just some quotes from what the man Carl Frampton had to say. Quote, he said, I've been here for almost 2 weeks. The time difference from where I'm from is 4 hours, and it took us about a week to get over that completely. Jamel Herring is not going to be over this completely by the time the fight comes around. I think this is about 11 hours time difference from where he trains, maybe 10, and it's a lot of traveling as well. I think it's a big mistake for them to be coming out too late. End quote. So Jamel Herring be training in Colorado Springs, you know what I mean? Those are places like Bud Crawford be training at, and Maurice Hooker. That's where the guy Bomac takes his fighters to train up in altitude over there in Colorado Springs, you know what I mean? Where the amateur Olympic fighters also train at in Colorado Springs. Um, the 11-hour, 10-hour, 11-hour difference will really make a difference. I'm struggling with jet lag myself. I was on vacation for damn near 2 months. I get back and by 6, 7 o'clock, my eyes are getting red and getting tired. You know what I mean? Especially after I've had been working all day. You know what I mean? Really and truly, if I was home just all day chilling, I would probably be getting a lot more sleep and my sleeping pattern would be still messed up. But when you keep yourself busy, by the time 7 o'clock hits, my eyes getting tired and you know what I mean? I really want to get some sleep. But I tried to stay up until at least midnight or 11 o'clock, then I'll call it a night, you know what I mean? But then I wake up mad early too at about 5, 6 o'clock. So jet lag is crucial and jet lag is real, you know what I mean? But the best thing to do to defeat jet lag is to keep yourself busy and sleep at normal times when the regular people sleep rather than having your sleep patterns off. But then again, Jamel Herring is going into a fight, you know what I mean? How much rest does he need? Especially fight week. Hopefully he's done all his preparations before so he doesn't have a vigorous schedule in Dubai during fight week where he's doing a lot of training, doing a lot of media talks and press conferences, and his sleep gonna be all the way messed up. So I do agree with the man Carl Frampton at this point where it's a big mistake, you know what I mean? Coming over there just the weekend before fight week. Probably should have been there And especially Dubai is a hot place, you know what I mean? Extremely hot. Does the man do road work? If he does road work, going from Colorado Springs, which at this time of year, I'm sure it's, I'm sure it's cold, you know what I mean? Probably getting a little warmer because we hit spring. But if he's been running in altitude in them Rocky Mountains in Colorado Springs, what about when he comes to Dubai, where it's a desert, where it's blazing hot, probably over 100 degrees daily during the daytime? This is stuff he has to be acclimated to, and I do agree with Carl Frampton. That's a big mistake Jamel Herring and his team have done. You know what I mean? Um, More quotes from the man Carl Frampton. He says, "Quote: Originally, I thought they were coming out 10 or 11, 10 or 11 days pre-fight, which I didn't think was long enough, anyways. But to hear it's a week, I think it's silly. I think it's a mistake. But I'm out here prepared. I'm adjusted to the time difference already. I'm used to my surroundings. I'm used to the heat, and I'm out here because I want to win this fight. That's the reason why I came out early, and I'm prepared to win this fight." End quote. So Kyle Frampton is speaking the real on that quote. I have to give him that. You know what I mean? That's definitely a move right there, which you're going to a whole different. You're crossing basically over two. You got to cross over Europe. You got to leave mad time difference in the U.S. There's a time difference between Colorado Springs and the East Coast. You know what I mean? They're in mountain time. It's about probably a 2 hour difference. Then he got to cross over Europe, and then he got to go to the Middle East, Asia, to Dubai. This is something that might be favoring the man called Frampton. Um, More quotes from Carl Frampton. Quote: I think this is Carl Frampton when he's talking about the numerous COVID-19 restrictions in Northern Ireland where he's from. So he's equating it to the fight, and he says, "Quote: It's a lot better than the UK at the minute. A lot of normality. Things are open. You can walk and sit somewhere and have a coffee. You can do that. You can do that at home at the minute. You can't do that at home at the minute. There's no pubs open, no shops open, no cafes open. The weather is nice. I'd say we came here at the right time. In a month's time, it, it'll be unbearable sort of heat. But we're sitting around 30 degrees Celsius. It's nice. It's bearable. It's lovely. You have to wear a mask, but obviously we're being cautious. We're not going into crowded places. We want to be careful. We don't pick up COVID." End quote. Yeah, month advantage is definitely gonna be in favor of the man Carl Frampton. You know what I mean? Carl Frampton was basically describing how it is in Dubai while he's been there as opposed to his country, Northern Ireland. Now, Jamel Herring, this is the biggest fight of his career. We want to see if Jamel Herring is the real deal at 130 pounds. You know what I mean? Jamel Herring got a second lease of life when he got with Top Rank, got an opportunity to win a world title, and here he is, a guy who came from PBC with two tough losses. You know what I mean? And he fought actually better fighters to be, in my opinion, on PBC than he has on his title reign on Top Rank. You know what I mean? Maybe that's why he had the two losses. But at the end of the day, Carl Frampton does have a point. You know what I mean? And maybe this man Bomac and them, they went over there to Scotland when the man Bud Crawford beat Ricky Burns for his first world title, for Bud's first world title, 135-pound strap with the WBO. But that was Bud Crawford, who he is, and Jamel Herring is who he is, fighting the best fighter on his resume. So this right here, I don't know if this will be in favor of the man Carl Frampton significantly, but I do think he did the right move coming over there a month earlier. You know what I mean? And I'm sure he came over there because there's more freedom over there in Dubai as far as restrictions on this COVID compared to his country. But at the end of the day, I do believe Carl Frampton is going to take advantage of being the man, being over there way before the man Jamel Herring. It's something sort of like Rahasim Rahman versus Lennox Lewis when they fought in South Africa with the man um, Hasim Rahman coming to South America. What's it called? South Africa at least a month earlier, maybe more. You know what I mean? While the man Lennox Lewis was shooting the Ocean's 11 movie in the United States, he came over there on fight week, had to deal with the altitude over there in South Africa. You know what I mean? Because it's in high altitude where they was fighting at. You know what I mean? So that actually played in favor into the man Hasim Rockman. He'd been there for a month, acclimated to the people, to the food, to the climate, to the altitude, and he knocked out the man Lennox Lewis to become, you know, the heavyweight world champion. But then they did a rematch 5 months later, and Lennox Lewis was more prepared, and he knocked him the f out. You know what I mean? One of the best knockouts in heavyweight history when he knocked him out in round four. So, B Marsh Boxing, let me know what y'all think about Carl Frampton and Jamel Herring. And Jamel Herring arriving just a weekend, just a week before his fight, while Carl Frampton's been out there for damn near a month. All right? Let me know if you think this will be an advantage for Carl Frampton. All right, I'm gone. Peace.